Just digging the hole out for the gates that basically go across all the openings. So I've got to make up the gates yet, but the 100mm box section is going to go in here. So it doesn't look very deep, but that's 1/2 meter into the ground. So then I'll have a 100mm box section going up. And obviously there's where the roller shutter is going to be. Beautiful early morning delivery of the new roller shutter. I've also got the new gates on. There's no sliding bar currently, but they're on, they're in, everything's welded up. They need to be painted, but so should be ready to take down the door soon once I get that slider bar in. Right, so I've just taken this piece off the fan, and because I'm going to be linking the two fans together, I'm going to have to basically make a double version of this so it's mirrored on the other side. I want to get them as close together as possible, so we'll probably delete that overhang there. I've just marked that with a black pen. So I'm going to draw that up on the CNC now, and we'll see what we come up with. So what I've done is I've taken some basic measurements, drawn some lines so I can measure some basically squares out, all good. Placed it on the system. And then I've basically cut off, there's a 25mm between that section and the very base there, including the bend. So if I've 25mm, I've cut off 20mm, it leaves 5mm. So now I've mirrored it. I've got 10mm between the two fans, which is plenty of space. That's that cut out. It's a slightly different shape, but all the holes line up. Double-sided. We'll try it on the fan. Hopefully that'll work a dream. It's a little on the thin side, but I guess, well, it's 3mm, so that's 3mm as well. But I think when both are on there bolted up, there might be a little back and forward flex, but we'll see about that. Yeah, holes line up. Nice bit of clearance between the two. Perfect, I'll cut the other one. So I've just made up the part of the door frame with the seal section on it. So all it is 2x4 flat up against the brickwork, and then 2x4 turned on its side. So the door will actually sit on this, and this will have foam on it and seal against it, stop any noise coming out. I'm going to be using Everflex sealant, and it's actually acoustics rated, and it's for sticking wood to basically concrete. So I'm going to take this all apart now. I will put sealant all the way around the entire outside, and then I'll push the wood into it. Then I'll screw straight into the breeze blocks, and I think I'll wait for it to go off before I put the raw plugs in, just because I don't want the wood to distort and squidge out all the stuff unnecessarily. It goes pretty hard from what it's got 5% flex in it, so but then obviously that gap is also sealed around the entire thing. One chunky door frame in place. I've actually only used acoustic sealant to hold the whole thing in. It's looking pretty solid. I've just glued this back section in here. From the other side, sealed right in, so no noise is going to escape. And this can all be painted over, this sealant, so should look pretty smart when it's all painted grey. And that's a pretty thick seal. 45 or 50, I think that should be 50mm actually. That looks like a 50mm overhang there for the door to sit up against. Back onto the dyno room, and that's right, I've got a fair few panels up. In fact, this part of the room is very soundproofed, so it's looking quite smart. There's basically one light in here now, and obviously the window, so it's very hard to see most of the time, especially as most of the work's done in the afternoon. Got the door there, which will be hinged this side. It's actually upside down, and I put the braces across the center to make sure it doesn't sag over time. Well, that's what I'm hoping anyway. This huge gap here is going to have 3 more panels in it, And at the very back, there's going to be a small panel, I would say probably something like 300-400 mil. And then it's going to go into the section that goes out and round. So the door will be going up this way. This is the inside, perforated sheet steel, hinges on the opposite side of this. And I'll probably put 3 or 4 in. I want to make sure this thing doesn't sag at all. So hopefully this will do it. I'm not 100%. I don't really know how to make doors. But this seems logical that if it's mounted here, that will hold that section up from sagging, same as that one. And if they're both doing it, yeah, hopefully. But it's quite heavy anyway. Even without these support bars, it's going to be quite heavy. So I really want them on there. I've now painted in the door frame, which looks much nicer. It's obviously fully sealed, and I've also screwed it in a few places. Not that you can really see it anymore, but it's starting to look a lot smarter. Really quite like it. So walking straight in, we've got the space for the 3 panels that are missing, and these 3 panels are actually going to all shift that way slightly. I've just pushed them out the way so I can actually twist the panels. Unfortunately, the last 2 panels are going to have to go through from the workshop over the wall into place, which could be interesting. Nonetheless, all these 3 panels are going to shift this way slightly, which is going to give me a larger gap up the back here, which is going to, you know, hopefully have a decent air gap. And I've worked out that if we can thin the last panel, so if we can make it probably half the thickness, something like, well, it's 95, yeah, so like maybe something like 50 mil, something in that region. It should give me enough space where this gap is exactly the same as the 2 fans total area. So there should be no restriction, but we'll just see how it goes. Either way, I need to build something to go over and then down the other side of the wall, and then that will be the air intake, and it's got to travel a fair way down because of the noise coming out of this room going up into the noise deadening or absorption, and hopefully we'll get rid of it. So the ceiling is going to continue over the top and then come down. I'm probably going to have something like a 300mm distance from the wall, so it will come out, you know, something like that, and it's going to come basically down to this line here. That should give me enough sound deadening that the noise has got to come out, go through a 90 degree at least. In fact, it's got to go up and then through a 90 degree, but nonetheless, that should hopefully absorb a lot of the sound, and then as it's, you know, pulling air through, the sound should hopefully go that way anyway. I don't know where it's going to come out, but the rain is coming down pretty hard. The lights are now disconnected in here, so all I've got is the floodlight. But we'll see if we can see the change. I mean, it is quiet. Even though that's pretty good. So the final 2 roof panels have got to be built out in the workshop to go up there and fill that gap, and then I've still got to foam each one like between the 2 and then shift them all down a bit, but it's pretty dark in there without the light on. Yeah, it's pretty dark. So yeah, gonna stack all them bad boys up again and make that panel there. Oh man. Got the door frame in, got the perforated steel on the opposite side. I'm just sizing her up and making sure that it's going to be okay. I'm probably actually going to recess the hinges. I'm going to run 4 actually across this side. The pair of hinges I've got say up to 40 kilos, and this is already 39.6. So if I run 2 sets of them, that should hopefully hold the weight. So door finished, insulated, got the 4 hinges on there, and she's swinging beautifully. So it's just a galvanised sheet. I've just aerodited in the magnet. So this is a test. I'm going to potentially run 4 magnets across the edge, just so I haven't got to put a door handle or anything. I've just got a set of con rods, which I'm going to use as door handles. So hopefully they'll sit in like that. And assuming these magnets work, then you can just pull the door open and close the door, no problem. If the magnets don't work, I'm going to fit them that way, and I'll put a shaft in the center, and that's how you'll open the door. So nice, solid, heavy door, perforated on the inside. She swings so nice. Lovely. Inside, I've moved all the roof panels down, so I've made the last roof panel now, and it's up. All I've got to do is fill in this last section. So the light is an issue currently, and I haven't got any electrics in yet, so we've got them. They're going to run down across the tops, just above that top brick. So that should all be good, should be plenty of space for that. I'm going to have 5 sets of 4-foot lights per side. So 1, 2, and they'll basically go all the way up. On a panel, miss a panel. But she's really nice and quiet in here. Noise does come in fairly easily, but obviously that rear section's massively open, and the light from the front there, obviously that's a single pane glass window and there's no insulation whatsoever. Still debating on how to make this front insulated section, whether I can have a board that comes around in front, or I don't know, maybe just plastic hanging things that, you know, keep the cold in. I mean, someone even suggested sound like the noise curtains they have in schools and stuff, but I don't think that's going to work very well. And I don't know if you can see up there, but there is still a few gaps where the wood is bowed that away. So I think because I'm not overly happy with them drooping at different rates and stuff, as you can see a bit of grey there, and that one's dropped a fair bit more than the others. I don't know if that was actually the first one up or not, but either way, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up the top, I'm going to create a metal plate, and I'm basically going to screw each 2 panels together. So plate sits down, screws go through, and it will just draw them hopefully up and level before I put the sheet of plastic across the top. And then once I've done that, I can, or actually before I've done that, I suppose. No, once I've done that, I can then fill that with expanding foam to take up that little extra gap there. So I've got both those magnets in place, just araldited in, and it's got quite a, so as Terry broke my other 2. If I buy another 6 magnets, so you'll have to pull it shut. I'm just wondering about I think another 6 magnets or another 3 sets. That should give me enough force to just hold it closed. Right, so I thought I might have to do it, and it turns out I did. I've had to lower the rear section. You can see I've put a line on there where I've got a cut, but I've lowered it down now, so you can see where it was. It's come down about 125 mil, I think, which is basically so there's enough room that I can actually have a decent amount of air coming into the workshop without causing a vacuum inside. I thought I might have to do it when I put the sheets up, once I saw the gap, but it turns out I definitely do have to do it because it's way small. And I've also fitted the last panel in wrong, so I've got to take that back out and flick it around. Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos, subscribe, hit that bell and get the notifications. You can also check us out on Facebook. The link's going to be in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.